Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, 4 crazy rescue dogs, a rescue cat, and a rescue guinea pig who likes to craft in her spare time. Is officially graduated with her degree in ASL interpreting and is trying to train for Ironman. If you are new here, welcome to the crazy. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message. It boosts my serotonin and my self-esteem, and I could always use that. And if you are a returning friend, you already know the crazy you're in for. Grab your drink, sit on back, and let's have at it. Okay. So what did we do last week? Well, glad you asked. I don't know. It was a blur. It was an absolute blur. It involved a lot of running around. I finished the brief. I have to put the final touches on it. It goes to the court tomorrow, God willing, if I have enough copies of it and everything. I did some other work, had some other hearings, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Friday, I promptly got a call from my pain management doctor who said, oh, yeah, we approved you to do it by twilight sedation. Everything right. They only do it 1 day a month. And I'm like, okay, book me. Whatever day it is, book me. She goes, it's June 14th. For some reason in my brain, and I was in the car, my brain is like, I feel like that, like I have something going on that day. But then I was like, I don't know. I probably got home and realized, yeah, idiot, you're at StitchCon. And I'm not missing StitchCon this year. Like, I keep stressing out about the money and everything else, and I keep thinking, I'm going with friends. We are literally getting an Airbnb. Everything is booked. I know exactly how much the hotel is. And if I come up short, I know that my friends have got my back. Like, I'm not going to starve. I'm not going to, I'm going to be okay. I also know that William's not going to talk about my son, William, in a few minutes. But I know that I'm going to be okay. I always am. Maybe I'm not going to buy a $50,000 worth of fabric, but you know what? I don't need I can honestly say, sitting here, I have my starts that I'm going to do. I'm not worried financially about it. And I deserve those 4-day weekends. So I called and I left a message and going, yeah, I know you're going to hate me. Her name is Sue, but I have to reschedule for July. Because I'm not in town today. Yeah, no. So I also talked to her about maybe us switching up some of the pain meds. So I will be okay. I will be okay. It will be okay. So yeah, crazy. So so I did a thing Saturday morning. It is official. Have I put my actual degree in there? Why no, I have not. But I have the cute little booklet for it. It's super cute. And I did end up decorating. Lizzie, go lay down. Apparently, I'll be doing my video one-handed. I did end up decorating my cap. I was going to do a little bit more fancy. At one point, I put a picture of Sandra Bullock on there and the words "and world peace." And I really liked. I'm missing one of my little flowers. I really liked that. I thought that was hysterical. And I was reminded that I am older than a lot of the students, and not everybody is familiar with the movie Miss Congeniality. And if you are watching this and you are not familiar with the movie Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock, you need to stop my video, go watch it, and then come back. It is one of my all-time favorite movies. But with everything going on, that maybe it would not be received well. I then kicked around the idea of just putting sponsored by KG Law in my office firm number. I thought that was hysterical. I thought it was also hysterical because as an employee of KG Law, one of my office perks is that I get to deduct my office pay for my tuition. So I thought that was very appropriate and very funny. Anyways, I went back to Winnie the Pooh. Um, I wrote a whole little spiel about Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh has always been one of my favorite characters. He's been my favorite character since I was a little girl. For the longest time, I carried around a Winnie the Pooh that had Velcro like on his paws, so that you could stick them to his face and everything. Like it was dipped in honey. Winnie the Pooh. This whole degree was about honoring the little girl in me, the little girl who didn't have a voice, the little girl who did everything to please everybody but herself. And but this little girl, me, I'm healing. And I'm making some of the dreams that I wanted as a little girl come true. And letting her know that she's safe and she doesn't have to be hurt. And we talked about this a couple of times, especially lately with graduation. So Winnie the Pooh went on there, and the little bee had to go on there because I had a lot of growth and healing when I started running and being part of the triathlon world. And my local tri club, our colors are yellow and gold. Yellow and gold. Yellow and black. Yellow and black people, really, not yellow and gold. That's yellow and black. And we call ourselves the bees. And so this represents my triathlon family and my Medtronic Global Hero family and that. And then, of course, I had to have the little, I put around the little shiny daisies. We've talked about the meaning of that before. And it's funny because as I was marching in, my daughter said afterwards, she's like, you know, Mom, we always knew where you were because we would look for the little shiny daisies. And I thought then that's perfect. That was exactly what I needed it to do. So I was super excited. The commencement speech was okay. I mean, I expected more. Like, and it's funny because my son walked out to take pictures with us immediately after, because remember, he was playing in the band, and he walked out and he's like, the first thing out of his mouth is, how did she beat you for the commencement speech? And I went, I don't know. And then I met up with my daughter and my mom and some of my classmates, and they're all like, how? Like, what happened? Like, I don't understand. They're like, Kelly. And I'm like, I don't know. But here's the thing. I appreciated her sharing her story. Did I want more from those 5-6 minutes? And I think she spoke for like close to 10. Yes, I really did. At the same time, and I've been pondering this because, like, I think that was the first time, like, I was actually felt hurt that I didn't get picked. Like, it didn't make sense. Hang on one second. It's hotter than Hades in here. I'm going to go check the air conditioning. Maybe I'm going through the menopause again. I don't know. Hang on. Okay. So on the way home, I went to pick up my son after the second ceremony. And I picked up William, and he got in the car, and we started talking. And I said, and he goes, I just don't get it, Mom. He goes, like, seriously, I don't get it. And I go, it's not for us to know. Like, they were looking for something specific, and that is what they chose, and that's fine. And I go, ultimately, here's the thing, William. I said, I keep getting told by people who know most of my story that I need to write a book. And even when they only hear part of my story, they're like, and my doctors have said this repeatedly, Kelly, write a book. You need to write a book. The couple times I've gone to therapy, they're like, could you please write a book? So maybe this was her time to share her story. And it was her time to have that spotlight to heal whatever needed to be healed, or to, again, make that leap to the next step. And maybe it just wasn't my time. And that time may be that I do need to sit down and write a book. Or maybe that time is I run for a judge seat and I make it. And then I start becoming a public speaker. And maybe that's my time. I don't know. What I can tell you is my story's not over. And I know because I'm writing my story. Just like each one of you is writing your story. And I know that's not what Flosstube is about, but we also know that this is my channel and this is what I do. So I'm okay with it. My kids clearly aren't. My kids are having a hard time with it, which I find absolutely kind of hysterical. My time will come. My time will come. The other thing is honestly, my time is going to need more. My story will need more than 10 minutes on a stage to 1,000 people. And I know that sounds really conceited, and I know that sounds selfish. But I also know it's true. I know what I've been through. And so, yeah. So it was very weird. However, I got to see one of my dearest friends graduate. I got to stand tall. And it was awesome. And so afterwards, we all, like the group of us, went to dinner. And we went to Applebee's over by the college. My mom, it was so funny. I posted a picture of it. So if you have not seen my Instagram or my Facebook, you need to go check it out. So my mom orders Cajun salmon because my mom loves salmon. It's one of those things, right? And I don't know what was going on, but this poor waitress was just, oh God, it was so bad. So at first, my friend Kat was with us with her son, and she brings Kat 2 alcoholic drinks, and Kat's like, I only ordered 1. So then they bring my mom her dinner, and she had ordered the Cajun salmon with a side, and it came, she had picked a side of mashed potatoes and a side of broccoli, right? So they bring her 2 servings of broccoli and no mashed potatoes, and she says to the server, where's my mashed potatoes? So the guy comes back with another serving. She's like, I ordered broccoli and mashed potatoes. So clearly he only had to look at her plate and go, shit, she has 2 servings of broccoli and no mashed potatoes. Let me just go get her a scoop full of mashed potatoes, right? No, he comes back with a dish that has 2 scoops, so 2 servings of mashed potatoes now. Okay, so 2 servings of mashed potatoes and another serving of broccoli. Like, what the hell, right? So, in the meantime, the waitress had come back, and my mom says, she's like, does everybody have anything? And I was like, well, no, my mashed potatoes are cold. My daughter's French fries are like, because Bean got chicken tenders and fries, and because that's her safe food, and that's fine. I like her fries are so old, they're nasty. And I said, Kat's mac and cheese is cold. And I said, and my mom, I go, I think he went to get her the order of mashed potatoes. And she goes, what do you mean mashed potatoes? I go, her dinner, she had picked broccoli and mashed potatoes. She's clearly got, I go, they brought her 2 servings of broccoli and no mashed potatoes. And she goes, okay, I got it. Right. So she goes in the back and and Kat's steak was like well done, like a hockey puck. And she had ordered it medium rare. So they take Kat's plate back and stuff. And they're like, okay, so they bring back Kat a new plate. They bring me back heated up mashed potato, like hot mashed potatoes. They forget beans, fries, and the waitress brings my mom 2 more servings of broccoli in this big bowl that, honestly, it's probably 3 servings worth of mashed potatoes. And I'm like, where's beans, fries? And then I look over and I realize that my mom is now sitting in front of at least 4 servings of mashed potatoes and 5 servings of broccoli. And it was like an SNL skit that just here, more broccoli. And I was dying. So they did get it finally straight. It was ended up being so bad that we were there for over 3 hours, and they ended up comping our entire meal. It was It was so funny. And, William kept apologizing. And I said, honey, first of all, it's not his fault. Like, he just wanted to really make it a nice day for me, like, he had played both ceremonies. So he was tired. He's like, I don't want to cook. And, I know you don't want to cook because it's your graduation date. Let's just go to dinner. And he was so sweet. And he wanted it to be so perfect. And like to have that happen, it was just, and I was like, it's not your funny. And I go, it's not your fault, honey. And not only that, I said, honestly, now we have this funny joke. And the company was fantastic. Like, I had a great time just sitting there, relaxing and talking. And as much stress has been between my mom and I, it was just, honestly, it was just so much fun to just sit there and just chat back and forth. So we went out. William took me out, took Bella and I out this morning for lunch, and we went to Texas Roadhouse, and it was fantastic. And so at the end, I asked to speak to a manager, and I was like, "Is everything okay? Can we help you with anything?" I'm like, "Everything's great. Don't like it's a good thing I want the manager." So I tell the manager, I'm like, "Look, I just want to share that our waitress today went above and beyond. She was fantastic, and I couldn't have asked for a better meal. Like, and especially, and I relayed what happened the night before, and I'm like, so again, I go, I'm sure you hear the complaints, and I'm sure you don't always hear the good, and I just wanted to make sure that you heard the good. And so yeah, so it was really cool. So it was fun, and so yeah, so um, that's kind of it was it was nice. It was really nice. Our program, we're gonna go to dinner on June 8th at Buca de Beppo's. I don't know what I'm gonna be able to eat. We'll see. We'll figure it out. So yeah. So because I really have been focusing in, oh, and the other thing with the law firm, I have now hired somebody to help me with billing. So I'm really hoping. And I have also said to William got behind in rent because he wasn't working for so long. And I told him that if he set up my Notions app and loaded all of my Stitchy stuff into the Notions app, that I would knock him off of his overdue rent. So I'm super excited about that. I hope he takes me up on it. So yeah. So little bit by little bit. Yeah. My big girl needs some love. I feel horrible. These last couple of days, we have all been out at the same time for so long. So poor Oreo, we have to put him in his crate because he's still he just turned 2 at the beginning of the year supposedly, and he's still a little wild. And he's a puppy. Let's put it that way. He's a puppy, and so we put him in the crate. And he's just spent so much time in the crate, and I just feel bad. So we've been trying to give all the dogs some extra love, and so yeah. So what have I do? I don't have any Stitchy kindness, which is fine. I have no haul. I bought some DMC. I do need to put in an order to 123 Stitch. I'm kind of debating, do I just go ahead and order it from 123 Stitch so I can stitch those stitches and work on that project now? Or do I just wait a couple weeks till I'm at StitchCon and hope that Keepsakes has the Kreinik and the Petite Treasure braids that I need? And I'm kind of leaning towards I may just order it now and not have to worry that they don't have it, and then that I end up ordering anyways. So yeah. So, but right now I have no haul. And I'm not expecting any in the mail. I need to dig through my fabric and see if I should still have enough Aida, like 18 count Aida, to do the Library of the Dogs. I'll just grid it with pencil. Honestly, I think I can manage that. Like I may just do like a section at a time, like um to try and see if I even like the gridded. And maybe that cuts down on some of my counting errors that we don't talk about because counting is hard. Counting is hard. Um, One of the other things that is so here's the other thing as far as education, because everybody keeps looking at me and I brought it up. Like I still have this desire to learn and to keep learning and growing. And that's never gonna change. But so what I have said is that unless I do like the personal trainer certificate class that's like 6 weeks, once a week kind of thing, um, I'm not going to do anything until maybe the fall of 2025. And even then, I don't know. But for right now, the only classes or the only focus that I will have other than my business is passing the BEI. And like I said, maybe doing my personal trainer certificate. By the way, women and men, again, pelvic floor therapy with a licensed certified pelvic floor therapist, not with a quackadoodle. Nobody needs to do anything with a quackadoodle. Is worth every moment you will spend doing it. I cannot explain to you how. Yeah, is it weird at first? Yes, 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 it is. Is it worth it? Yes, yes, it is. So, okay, so let's get into what my stitching was. Okay, we have officially, as I have said, I think before, we're caught up on WhipGo. Any stitches that I stitch now on any of these squares, I do mine by year, so I can always work ahead. I may do that. Technically, I think I am ahead of square still because I finished the app placemats. I still have 3 more times that a viewer's pick can get picked. So there you go. But so for right now, I have like this last week, I have literally stitched on hardly anything. Like as far like I'm almost a monogamous stitcher. Almost. When you see how few projects I touched, you'll be like, what the heck? And it's literally because I'm trying to focus on getting them done because they're both gifts. And then the other one was my new start. And yeah, I only touched 4 projects this last week. Only 4. The first one up, because we'll just get into it, and it's sitting here, and I don't have to worry about trying to. I'm petting Lizzie with my other hand, so I'm doing this one-handed. The first one up is the Year of Blackwork from 2021. Again, we don't judge on this show. I'm just doing it in random blue DMC that at the time when I started this project, I just pulled several of them. Some of them didn't even have numbers on them for whatever reason. And yeah, so if you guys recall, lay down. I had gotten to this border in here, and it looks like it reminds me of ivy. Right now, I have this space set aside for there, but I may replace the ivy looking with maybe a little row of fishes. Now that I think about it, maybe I'll have to look at blackwork fishes because I was thinking maybe some sort of quote about the beach, which I still may do, but maybe I'll put fishes there. Who knows? Who knows? I don't right now. So you can't know because I don't know, and I'm the one stitching it. But I got this square in. This actually takes me the second week. It would be the first full week of May. So I'm almost current. where if I only stitch 1 square a month or 1 square a week, I would still be done by the end of the year, which is the goal. So I need to do a little bit of work on that. It does take some concentrating though, because it's black work, and it's like, but we're getting there. And it's just and sometimes it's a matter of not only well, first of all, I need to be kind of in the mood. But I also have to be able to concentrate. But once I'm in the groove, like I can knock off a couple squares at a time. So that is always the goal. Okay. What is this? Okay. Next up, I started Lady Justice by Mirabilia. She's beautiful, but in my eyes, she's the wrong colors. She's wearing the wrong colors. Lady Justice should be dressed in black, like a robe for a judge. And her sash should be purple, which is the color of law. So I have worked with another person, another stitcher, who actually is a lawyer, to come up with a conversion that puts her in black with purple. I am stitching my stitch on. I put the sticker on my bag, on the inside of my bag, because I didn't want to leave it on the fabric. I kept like touching it weird. I have a 1/4 yard of 32 count Heroic Lugana by Picture This Plus. I love this fabric. It's got like splotches of red and blue in it, and I love this fabric, and I absolutely think I made the best choice. So what I may do is order another piece to put Lady of the Flag, Queen of Freedom, and Queen of Peace on. And I just got a chance to buy Ashley's Roses, which is another piece I absolutely love. And her dress is red, white, and blue for $100. So I'm debating. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I don't think I can rationalize it right now, as much as I would love to stitch her. The other one that I would love to stitch is Touching the Autumn Skies. But the price of this pattern, I can't rationalize it, y'all. I can't. In my brain, in my budget, I can't. But if somebody wanted to loan it to me, would 110% stitch that baby. Okay, so as you can see, it's actually a little bit deeper brown than what's showing. I did a middle start. Well, kind of middle. I started with her booty, so that I could make sure that I could do the one to make sure she was centered on the fabric and I wasn't going to run out of space. So it made the most sense to start, because normally I would start her from the bottom and work up, but I wanted to make sure before I got too far that I would be able to test out the purples and test out the blacks. The other thing, that part of the blacks that we're doing is we're throwing in, I wanted her to sparkle and shine. So there's going to be a lot of Krynic in there. And I'm fine with that. Surprisingly, that's a Mirabilia that does not have a whole lot of beads. It's kind of weird. But that's where we're at. That's pretty true color. She's just, I love her. I love working on her. I would like to go make a working cut, like an official. What I did is I put the pattern on my little printer, like scanner, and I copied like a section but I would like to go to like Office Max or Kinko's and make like a working copy of it, just so that it's all one page and I know I don't like where the overlaps are. So Lady Justice got some work. She got started. And the other thing that I have been working on is the Epic Oz Adventure. I love this piece. I love this piece. My center medallion is almost 80% done, which is pretty good, except for the back stitching. William just walked by with his leftovers. I love it so much. Look, I got the tornado in her house. My lollipop is all in. The bookmarker page ribbon is all done. I have a couple stitches in the flower to fill in. And this is all the pages of the book. I thought I threw the little picture I had. Maybe. I thought I threw the picture in here. It does not appear to be in here. Sorry. Not that yet. Then around the border are going the characters from the Brooks Books characters. I have all of them. There's 12 characters. I'm stitching the characters 1/1, where the centerpiece is stitched 2/2. My brain is really struggling right now with 1/1. First of all, I don't like stitching with just one thread. It's weird. You know why it's weird? Because I'm not used to it. And stitching 1/1 is not very forgiving on counting. I know it sounds weird. You'd think it would be easier. It's the switching in between, because the rest of it has been stitched 2/2, and sometimes I'll go and I'll do a big chunk here, but I've been trying to now work on the characters. Very clearly they'll fit because that's as big as the scarecrow's foot. That's the boot of the scarecrow. I did realize that I had misstitched a couple stitches, so then I had to frog. But that is literally you all. That's from here to here on the scarecrow's boot. Is that little teeny tiny thing. And it's funny because when I take a picture of it, I'm like, what the heck is on my fabric? And then I have to stop myself and go, it's nothing, you ding dong, it's your stitches. It's the scarecrow's foot. So, which is why I think when I pick this up more this week, I mean, it would be a lot easier to fill in the chunks of the pages down here. But I think for my brain's sake, I need to work on this scarecrow. Because up top, the 4 are Dorothy the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion go up top. Down this side will be Glinda and the Wizard. And over here will be the Wicked Witch of the West and the Flying Monkey. And then down below, hopefully, if God works, right? If I have planned well, down here will be the Mayor of Munchkinville, the Baker and the 2 Flower Girls. And then there's a phrase that I found, and I can't remember what the phrase is. And Jessica, I think I sent it to you. So if you have the phrase, can you send it to me again? But if I keep going like this, then absolutely this will be done before Christmas. And that makes me happy because that will make an amazing Christmas gift to Aaron. This one is also, because there's not a whole lot of floss colors, it's easy to take with me. Even like it's a bigger project, but it's still easy to take with me. When this one is done, I'll switch to my Fruits of Plenty, because that's also one of my other big pieces I'd like to get done. And realistically, in theory, that one's only 2 colors. Now I add pops of color, but I could work around those pops of color while I'm out and about and just focus on the 2 colors. This one, though, this one is one of those that, because it has so many colors, excuse me, and I haven't even been able to put them all on floss drops and in order, it's not one that's manageable at this point to take out and stitch in the wild. It will go to StitchCon with me because I need to work on it and I need to get it done for Christmas and in time to be framed. And my friend this is going to his parents has said I will absolutely 110% pay for it to be professionally framed. And I was like, okay, because we all know framing is freakishly expensive. So what I have been trying to do is, on my chart, because this pattern is charted by me, through his dad's face in order to make up. There's a mistake in there somewhere. I don't know. I am too far gone to rip out anything. Except for a couple stitches, I'm not doing it. Like if I don't have to. So I'm trying to go ahead and fill in his face, his dad's face, from like the bottom up in like 10 by 10 squares. Okay. So with that said, I think we're at, let me pull it up. Why is I'm a pattern keeper. I don't know why. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Perhaps should I? Okay, we're starting. Okay. Anyways, this is where we're at. Ooh, those colors are popping. But you can definitely see, like, okay, this is so cool. Like, I love the fact that, like, every time I look at it from far away, you can see the progress. Like, it's so cool. Like, that's his bottom lip there. Like, when I'm stitching in it, I'm like, what the hell am I stitching? And, like, I'll have the pattern keeper kind of zoomed in, like, clearly. And even when it's zoomed out, all you see is symbols. Or if you zoom out far enough, all you see is blank versus what you stitch. And you're still like, what is that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. When you hold it up like this, and yes, his mama is Irish Scottish, so she is pasty white. God love that woman. That woman is pasty white. But that orange for the wall, oh yeah, in the picture, it's that orange. Oh, I love it. Has it been a pain to stitch on? Yes, because my didn't adjust for all of the confetti. Now, I didn't do that with Rosie either. I played around with it a little bit. But if you're willing to stitch the confetti, the reality is, the more confetti heavy it is, the more detailed you're going to get, the more shading you're going to have, the more of all of that. And one stitch or two stitch, if it's just 1 or 2 stitches in the pattern, probably not going to make a big difference if you switch those out. But yeah, if I'm going to put in the time, I want it done right. Like, I want to do it right, kind of thing. I want it to look nice. And the problem with this one, the picture of Rosie was nice and clear. Like, it wasn't a pixelated picture. It wasn't like a credit quality. So that one was easier to play with a little bit. Like how big did I want it? How many colors did I want? It was easier. The problem with this one is it is basically a picture that was like on her tablet of the picture that like it was old. It was very pixelated. You can tell. Maybe you can't because my fat fingers. Oh, Lord have mercy. What in the world are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, there we go. Okay. So that is literally like, that's good quality based on the picture that I got. But you can see where it's still pretty pixelated. And part of that, again, is the picture quality. So right now, I've got his, like, you can see where his chin has got kind of like that cleft in it, or shadow. That's in, and then his bottom lip. So, and like part of his jacket and stuff. Her face is clearly all in, and I've started to work through here over there when I work. But right now I'm focusing in on putting in his face because my friend is like, it's kind of weird to see his mouth and not his eyes. Well, that's all I can do. I can only stitch so fast. I'm not a stitchomatron. So, but we're going to keep plugging away on his face. And like I said, right now we're kind of like down in this area. Plug it away. So, I have a feeling like here's an eye hole, here's an eye hole. This is kind of where his nose is, I think. Clearly, that's the pocket on his jacket, the pocket square kind of thing. So it's kind of cool. So, let's see. So on that piece, we're at 22.32%. And my hope is at least 25. My goal, my shoot for goal is 30% by the end of the month. I don't know. We'll see. And then let's see. Yeah, Oz without the back stitching, and there is back stitching. That center position is 81.43%. And other than the few little spots inside the flower and Toto's eyes, the only stitches left are the pages. Just it's kind of cool to go through on Pattern Keeper. I don't know how many else, but get excited when it gives you like how many stitches in that color, and you see all the ones that are at 0. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. And I know there's some French knots that need to go in the green field. I do need to, I would, so, okay, so this next week, what are we doing? I don't know. This next week, WIPGO numbers should be out on Saturday. So I have a week before WIPGO numbers for next month are called. I'm going to keep focusing, obviously, on Kay and Dennis. I'm going to hope to get some more on, I feel bad, like I want to go back and work on the stockings for the kids. I want to, like, but at the same time, like, the kids are okay if the stockings they're not going to be done either way for this Christmas. Those will then become top of the priority for next year. But I would like to start looking at, like, so secretly I'm hoping that June's picks are kind of, I want to say, easier picks. Like the periodic table, that would be easy because then I could double dip with how I normally work on it at StitchCon. Kay and Dennis would be ideal because that's on here again. So those are my hopes. As far as my 25 and or 24 and 24, I should probably look to pulling out Mermaid Santa, like in alternating each day, doing a thread on Mermaid Santa or a thread on Peppermint Purple, a thread on Santa, because both of them are all basically back stitching. Whether you want to call it black work or you want to call it back stitching, it's essentially the same stitch. So that's all that's left on Mermaid Santa is back stitching and Peppermint Purple, obviously. So that would, like, if I did that, like did a thread a day each morning and alternate those two, that would be cool. And then have my evenings of stitching, and then maybe put the Heat Miser and Snow Miser ornament back in the car, and that would be my car stitch. So maybe that's how I'll do it this next week. Because what's left is Kay and Dennis, the Modern Folk Embroidery Fruits of Plenty sale. My goal is to have that done. Right now, that one's at 50, just over 50%, not quite 51%. Monopoly, the Space Sal, Mermaid Santa, Oz, Peppermint Purple, I think I said, Heat Miser and Snow Miser, and then the Grinch and Max ornaments. Now, if I have to drop, but what's funny is I left off the Space Sal, which will get done this year. And I want to put some more time into the self-love sampler this month for May. That won't finish it, but that'll get it. Like that's another one that like will go up to the top of the list for 25 and my focus on 25 and 25 for finishes. I'm kind of at this point not worrying about the last of the stitches that are left on my 12 by 12 in New York, New Year's Eve, because two of them are the Heat Miser and the Snow Miser ornaments. The other one is the Autumn Lane series, and the other one is the Polar Plunge series. Do I want both of those worked on? Absolutely. More the Polar Plunge than the Autumn Lane. I may take the Polar Plunge series. I may take it to StitchCon. Probably not. No, I'm not. I know I'm taking Kay and Dennis. I know I'm taking the periodic table. And I believe I'm taking Pandemic, because the three of us will all have our pandemics. If I recall, Julie and Kim are bringing their pandemics. So it would be kind of cool to have the three of ours all like together and take a picture of it. Those may be the only like real projects I take. Oh, and I'm taking Autumn Rules, or not Autumn Rules, 4th of July Rules, because Stephanie and I are going to start it there. Daphne and I and several other people in June, like I said, I have to find the fabric, are going to start Library of Dogs. At some point in the before the end of the year, beginning of next year, I am going to do a month of full coverage where like I start several full coverages, which is not necessarily what I had intended to do because I've been trying to focus on finishing things. At the same time, I feel like if I don't start these Hades, they're never going to get started, which means they're never going to get finished. And I love the ones that I have. The other thing I realized is, so like I bought the regular standard colors, not the supersizers or anything, of Library of Dogs, which is fine. But then like one of them I bought the mini. Like what the hell was I thinking? Like if I recall though, somebody said like we looked at the side by side of the mini versus, and you still got enough detail. I'm hoping. I don't know. I also need to remember to call the Stitchy shop in Fort Wayne. They called and let me know that the fabric that I had ordered for Joyce's piece is in. So I need to remember to call them. So it has just been like literally, it's been every time I think it's calming down, it just there's stuff to do. So that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. Yeah. So with that, I've talked way longer than I have lately, which is, okay, we all have those days. So, with that, remember, you, you are beautiful. You are loved. You are smart. You are brave. You are cherished. You are wanted. You are needed. Why am I struggling through this? Oh my Lord. You're loved. You are brave. You are cherished. You are needed. You are wanted. But most importantly, you matter. So with that, I am sending you all the love, and I clearly need more sleep or more caffeine or something. But I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye, y'all.